Hey guys, Pastor Greg Locke here. I know it'll take a couple of moments for some folks to jump on, but I want to share something with you today that just really, it rocked my world in a good way. The Lord really spoke to my heart today, and my son was there to see it, and I just want to share it with you just for a moment. So share this video. I believe it's going to be a great blessing live, but also perhaps the replay, the rebroadcast. You know, we have a lot of people that reach out to Global Vision Bible Church and to Pastor Greg Locke. I mean, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. The emails, the amount of messages, the letters, the phone calls we get, it's a daunting responsibility. And I love it. It's humbling to see how many people God is allowing us to reach and to just be able to minister to on various platforms. But I want to tell you something that happened today. Actually, it happened this past week, I think Friday. Our office received a message that I didn't get till this weekend from a couple that lives in the state of Indiana. And I don't want to give too many details, and I don't want to, say things that are very private in their life, and I don't want to be too demonstrative about who they are. But just a sweet couple that I've never met. They've never visited our tent service. They watch me online, been watching me for a while, and they've never reached out before, but they reached out to the church, and they had a child that died in the birthing process. And this couple is mortified. They're devastated, as you can imagine. So they reached out to the church asking if I would be able to speak at the celebration of life service for this infant child. And so I think maybe Saturday evening or so, Saturday afternoon, I got the message from the office. And there was just no way that I would be able to make it. Today was actually the service, 2 o'clock Eastern. It's about 7.5, 8 hours one way. And I had so much going on just from Sunday and getting ready for things over the next couple of days, just trying to catch up before my traveling preaching schedule gets so busy again. And so there was just no way I could get there. And so I really prayed about it. And so they left their personal number. And so I called them just right off my cell phone. I just called them. And the husband answered, the father, and they were at the funeral home. And you could tell he was just in such anxiety and such disarray. My heart broke for him. And I said, I am so sorry that I cannot be there in person, but is there anything I can do? And they said, well, we can't necessarily get the Bluetooth to work, but would you be willing to speak at this memorial service, which was going to be just a few minutes from them, just over your telephone? We'll call you back. We'll put it on speakerphone, and we'll put the phone up to the microphone in the funeral home. I can't see them, they can't see me. And would you simply give the memorial for our son, whom you've never met? And so I was actually taking my middle son to the doctor to have a cast put on because he thinks he's Evel Knievel, and in a snowboarding accident, he broke his wrist in 2 places. Actually has to have surgery, even more so than a cast, we found out. But nonetheless, we're driving down the interstate. We get into Nashville, Tennessee, downtown Nashville, in my big Bubba truck that I'm in right now. And the phone rang, and I noticed that was the number. And I knew that these people are live in a funeral home. We quickly pulled off the side of the road. I turned the vehicle off. I answered, and for the first time in 29 years of preaching, I've preached 15,000 plus sermons all over the world, and thank God for every one of them. But from the cab of my truck, without knowing how many people at all or what they even look like are sitting in a funeral home 8 hours away from me, I eulogized a baby boy that I'd never had the honor and privilege to meet for a couple that I've never been able to meet. They're actually going to be coming down to our tent in a couple of weeks. And it moved me. It moved me with a heart of compassion to know that, you can't help everybody, but that doesn't keep you from helping somebody. I'm nothing. I'm a nobody. But that couple will never forget that. And you know what? Me and my son will never forget that either. My kids, my wife, my family, my church, they've heard me do a lot of different types of services, including, sad to say, funerals. But right in the front seat of my Bubba truck, pulled off the side of the road in downtown Nashville, Tennessee, over a cell phone connection, I had the privilege to preach the gospel and to give comfort and assurance and hope and the peace that passes all understanding to a family that I've never met, only spoken to one time on the phone, 15 minutes before the memorial service went down. I can't wait to hug their neck in a couple of weeks. I pray somebody shows them this video. I pray they see it. I pray that very soon they'll come to our church and we can put them up in a nice hotel and we can bless them and just financially sow into them. They're hurting. There is no doubt about it. They are hurting. and I hurt for them through the phone. But what an opportunity just to show people the love and the grace and the compassion of Christ. It will go down historically in my life and in the life of our church as one of the greatest sermons that nobody ever heard. Man, I enjoyed it. My kid will never forget it. And I was thinking, here I am taking my boy to the hospital, to an orthopedic specialist to get, a bone fixed, to get a cast. And yet I'm talking on the other end of a cell phone to people that have buried their infant son. That was a very sobering, sombering moment. Life's short. Jesus came to give us life and life more abundantly. Don't squander another second. We've wasted enough life as it is. But if I can say anything, for those of us that have busy, hectic schedules and lifestyles, sometimes just slow down. Slow down enough to respond to people. Slow down enough to look people in the eyes when you talk to them. To love people like Jesus loved people. So again, just because you can't help everybody doesn't mean you don't lovingly help somebody.